The wind was cruel that night. Snow danced like sharp needles across the narrow streets of Outpost 9, a small human colony on the edge of the galaxy. Buildings stood quiet and cold, lights turned low to save energy. The storm had started 2 hours ago, and it showed no signs of stopping. She walked slowly through the snow, her feet numb, her hands shaking. She was not human. Her skin was pale blue, thin like ice. Her eyes were large and silver, made for warmer worlds. Her name was Sari. She was Virelian, a species not built for the cold. She was lost. She was alone. And she was freezing. Sari pulled her thin cloak tighter around her, but it did nothing. Each breath hurt her chest. Her knees trembled with every step. She had landed here by accident. Her ship had failed. The rest of her crew gone. Maybe dead now. She just needed warmth, a room, a corner, a fire. She reached the first door and knocked softly. No answer. She knocked again, this time harder. The light inside flicked on. A human face appeared behind the glass panel. A woman. Their eyes met for a second. Then click, the light turned off. The door stayed closed. Sari's voice cracked. Please. I'm freezing. Just for a moment. No response. She walked away. The second door was metal. A sign said, nitrogen monoxide entry after curfew. But she knocked anyway. This time she pressed her head to the door. Footsteps came from inside. Someone was there. Go away. A man shouted. We don't help outsiders here, but I'll die, not my problem. The door slammed. Hard. She kept walking. One door, then another, then another. Some ignored her. Some cursed. Some didn't even open the door. Was this humanity? She had read about them. Heard stories, brave, kind, fierce when needed. But now they just looked scared. Or heartless. Her legs gave out. She collapsed near the 6th door, her breath short and fast. Her body shivered without control. This is how it ends, she thought. Not with fire, not with war, but with cold silence. On a planet not mine. Then she heard something, creaking wood. A door opened. Slowly, a figure stepped outside, boots in the snow, a long coat. A human man, maybe mid-30s, messy hair, dark eyes, stubble on his face. He looked down at her, arms crossed. What the hell are you doing out here? He said, not unkindly. Sari tried to speak, but no words came out. Just a soft whisper, cold. The man muttered something to himself. Then he stepped forward, grabbed her arm gently, and lifted her up. Come on. Before you freeze into a popsicle. She couldn't even walk properly. He half carried her inside. The door closed behind them. Warmth hit her like a wave. A small heater buzzed near the wall. The room was old, dusty, filled with tools and books, but it was warm. Man placed her on a chair. He wrapped a large blanket around her. Sit still. I'll get soup. She watched him move. He looked annoyed, but not angry. Like someone who didn't want company, but also couldn't leave someone outside to die. He returned with a steaming cup. Drink slow, or you'll choke. Sari held the cup with shaking hands. The warmth felt like fire in her chest. He sat across from her, arms still crossed. So, alien girl. Got a name? She nodded slowly. Sari, I'm Jack. He paused, studying her. You don't look like you're from around here. What happened? She looked down. Her voice was weak. Crash. My ship. Everyone gone. I walked. Door to door. Jack's face didn't change, but his eyes did. Just a little. And no one helped? She shook her head. Figures, he said. People here don't trust anyone. Especially not someone who looks different. He stood up. Rest tonight. We'll talk tomorrow. No one should be left out in a storm. Sari watched him walk to the other room. Before he disappeared behind the curtain, she asked, "Why? Did you open your door?" Jack didn't turn around. He just said, "Because one door should open, especially in the cold." Asterisk, she dreamed of fire, not real fire, but warm lights, kind hands, laughter around a table. A soft couch, a safe place, her home. Long gone. Then her dream shifted, screaming. A flashing red light, cold metal walls. Footsteps running, her crew yelling, and then silence. Just her breathing. Alone. Sari opened her eyes. She was in the small room again. A blanket wrapped around her, the heater still hummed. Her skin was no longer shaking, but something inside her still felt frozen. She turned her head. The man, Jack, was asleep in a chair by the door. His coat was over his chest, arms folded. Like he didn't trust her completely. But he hadn't locked her in, he hadn't tied her up. That was something. She sat up slowly, careful not to wake him. His home was messy. A small table. Books stacked high in the corner. A cracked photo frame on the shelf. Tools on the floor. It didn't look like a soldier's house. More like someone who used to care, but stopped one day. Sari's eyes went to the window. The snowstorm had calmed, just a little. But the world outside was still white and quiet. She stood, legs weak, and walked over to the photo. A woman and a child. Both smiling. Jack was there too, younger, cleaner, with hope in his eyes. What happened to them? Don't touch that, she turned. Jack was awake, watching her. I wasn't, she said softly. He stood up, stretched his arms. You should. Eat. Minutes later, they sat across from each other, sharing dry bread and soup. The silence between them was heavy, but not cold. Jack finally spoke. You said your ship crashed. Sari nodded. What kind of ship? Science vessel. From Virelia. We were studying something. Near the red zone. Jack frowned. Red zone? Near the old mining planets? Yes, but something went wrong. Very wrong. She paused. I don't remember everything, but I know we found something. Something big. We sent a message, then the ship was hit. Explosions. I woke up in an escape pod. And the others? Dead. Or taken. I don't know. Jack leaned back. You think someone attacked your ship on purpose? I'm not sure, but it wasn't an accident. For a moment, only the heater made a sound. Then Jack stood up, walked to the shelf, and took down a metal box. He opened it, pulled out a small radio. Do you know if anyone is looking for you? She hesitated. Double quotes. Yes, I think someone is. Friends or enemies? She looked him in the eye. Not friends, Jack nodded. He turned off the radio again and put it away. Then we keep the lights low. No signals, just in case. She blinked. You believe me? Jack shrugged. You don't look like a liar. Just scared. I am. You should be. Later, as they drank hot water by the heater, Jack asked quietly, Why didn't you give up? You were half dead at my door. Sorry. Looked down. Because someone told me once, when death feels close, take one more step. Jack stared at her. Good advice. I took many steps. All the doors stayed closed, until yours. Jack didn't answer. He just threw another log into the small heater. I wasn't always like this, he said. Cold, quiet. She waited. My wife and daughter died 3 winters ago. Supply ship was late. The medicine came too late. I stopped talking to people after that. I'm sorry. He waved it off. You're the first person to walk through that door in months. And I'm not even human. Jack smiled, just a little. Doesn't matter. Suddenly, a beep came from the far corner. Jack jumped up, moved to the wall, and looked at a screen. His face changed. What is it? Sari asked. He turned to her, voice sharp. You need to hide, now. Why? 2 armed ships just landed on the far side of the colony. Not official, no IDs, could be bounty hunters, or worse. Her blood ran cold. They're here. For me. Jack grabbed a bag from the shelf and threw it to her. You said someone might be coming. I believed you, so I made a plan. A plan? We leave through the tunnels. There's an old mining tract that leads out of the colony. Quiet. Forgotten. She looked at him, surprised. You're helping me? He nodded. One door opened. That means I'm in this now. Sari picked up the bag. Her hands were steady now. Thank you. Jack opened the back door slowly, peeking out into the snow. Don't thank me yet, he said. We still have to survive the next night. Jack didn't like the silence. Not because it was quiet, but because it was too quiet. He moved quickly through the old service tunnel, boots crunching on frost-covered metal. The flashlight in his hand flickered every few seconds. Behind him, Sari followed, staying low, her breath soft but fast. They had left his cabin an hour ago. Since then, no voices, no wind, no footsteps behind them. But Jack had lived long enough to know, when hunters come, silence walks with them. They reached an old maintenance door. Jack placed his hand on the scanner. It beeped, then clicked open. The door led into a small supply room under the west tower of Outpost 9. Dust covered every box. Rats had eaten through most of the food packs years ago. Stay here, he said. He walked up the stairwell to the surface. Sari waited, holding the old radio close to her chest. Jack reached the top floor and peeked through a cracked window. 2 ships. Sleek, black, no colony markings, no lights. He saw 3 figures walking toward the center of the outpost. Long coats, helmets, rifles strapped to their backs. Definitely not traders. One of them turned his head slightly. Jack caught a glimpse of red eyes glowing under the helmet. Not human. He came back down. They're not local. They're tracking something. Me, Sari said quietly. They knew my ship crashed. They'd probably followed the escape pod signal. Jack stared at her. Then why didn't you tell me sooner? I didn't think I was important enough. Jack sat down, back against the wall. He rubbed his face. You're not just a survivor, Sari. They wouldn't send killers for a normal science crew. She looked away. I don't remember everything. Jack's voice was calm, but hard. Try. There was silence again. But this time, not empty. Inside her head, the silence echoed, and then a voice. Hide it. No matter what happens, keep it inside her. A flash, a needle, a bright light. Her captain's eyes, full of fear. Another flash. Running, screaming, pressure in her chest. Then, darkness. Sari clutched her stomach. I think they put something in me. A device, something powerful. Jack looked at her, confused. Like a weapon? I don't know. Maybe. It feels alive, like it's waiting. Jack stood. Then we're not just hiding anymore. We're being hunted for a reason. Suddenly, static from the radio. Both froze. A voice crackled through. Target was spotted near Sector 3. Human male seen assisting. Orders are clear. No survivors. Then silence. Jack smashed the radio against the floor. They're scanning open signals. We need to move now. They moved deeper underground, into the mining tunnels. It was colder here. The walls were cracked. Support beams bent from time and rust. Jack lit a flare. We'll take Tunnel 12, old exit route for ore trucks. Leads to the river caves. Sari followed him, eyes wide. Why? Are you helping me, really? Jack didn't answer at first. Then he said, because my daughter once asked me, what makes us human? He looked back at her. I didn't have an answer then. Maybe I'm looking for it now. They walked for what felt like hours. Every sound echoed. Their footsteps, their breath, even their fear. Then a whisper, too soft, too close. Jack stopped. Did you hear that? Sari nodded. Another whisper, clear this time. She's here. Jack turned off the flare. Darkness swallowed them. Left tunnel. Moving fast. Send Unit 3. The voice was coming from ahead. Radio. Signal bouncing off the cave walls. They had been tricked. Jack grabbed her hand. Back quietly. But as they turned, a light flashed behind them. 3 shadows. One raised a rifle. Jack pushed Sari into a side tunnel. Gunfire. Sparks flew from the walls. Jack fired once with his old blaster. Missed. Keep going. He shouted. They ran, heartbeats louder than bullets. Finally, they reached a wall, solid rock. No exit, Sari gasped. Jack scanned the stone, found a crack. Thin, but wide enough. He pulled a small charge from his pack. Back up. Boom. The wall split open. Behind it, moonlight, trees, snow. Freedom. They slipped through just as the hunters reached the tunnel. Shots rang out. Jack felt heat on his arm, grazed. But he didn't stop. They vanished into the woods. Minutes later, breathless, they collapsed under a fallen tree. Jack checked the wound. Just a burn. Sari looked at him. We're not safe, are we? Jack shook his head. No, but we're alive. She touched her chest, where the strange feeling still pulsed. I think whatever they put inside me, it's waking up. Jack looked at her, not with fear, but with something else. Respect. Quotes. Then we better figure out what you're carrying. Before the galaxy does. Asterisk. The lead hunter didn't speak. He never did. He only listened. His helmet was made to catch whispers, heartbeats, breaths behind walls. It picked up heat from under the floor. Fear in the air. And tonight, fear was thick. He crouched in the tunnel where the girl had been. Still warm. Footprints led to a blasted wall. Fresh smoke, recently broken. They had escaped barely. Behind him, his team waited. 2 more. One with a pulse rifle. The other holding a scanner that glowed red. They're heading northeast, one of them whispered. The lead hunter nodded once, then pointed upward. They would go above ground. Cut them off. The girl could not be allowed to reach the city. Not with what she carried inside. If she activates it, the scanner tech said, it could send a signal across half the sector. Then make sure she doesn't, the hunter replied. His first words of the night. Far above, in the snow-covered woods, Jack lit a small flame with shaking fingers. They had stopped inside a collapsed bunker. The walls were cracked, but it was dry and hidden. Sari sat by the corner, arms around her knees. Her skin was pale and wet with sweat. Jack looked at her. You're burning up. I feel like something is crawling under my skin. He touched her forehead. Too hot. It's that device, isn't it? He said. Whatever they hid in you, it's doing something. She nodded. When we ran, it started glowing. Jack blinked. Glowing? Sari opened her jacket and showed him, a thin silver line now pulsed under her skin, running from her stomach to her collarbone, like metal veins. Jack stepped back. That's not normal tech. I think it's alive, she whispered. Jack stood up and paced. Okay, think. We need help. Someone who knows this stuff. I told you, Sari said. The others on my team are dead. Jack snapped his fingers. But there's a guy, engineer, lives in the East Sector, used to work for alien tech research. A little crazy, but smart. He'll help. If he doesn't shoot us first. Outside, the forest was quiet. Snow falling gently. But the silence was fake. Because the hunters were near. Watching. Listening. The lead hunter raised his hand. He could hear it now, her heartbeat. Strange. Faster than human. Not quite alien either. Found them, he whispered. The team began to move quietly. Like shadows inside the bunker, Jack packed supplies. Sari stood weakly, then suddenly. She froze. What is it? Jack asked. I heard something. Where? She pointed to the ceiling. A soft tap. Then again. Tap. Tap. Jack grabbed his blaster. They found us. The wall behind them exploded. Smoke, dust, lights flashing. Jack pulled Sari down as bullets hit the stone walls. He fired blindly, grabbed her hand, and ran through the side tunnel. "They're not stopping," Sari shouted. "They're not supposed to," Jack yelled back. "They were sent to kill, not to capture." Outside, the storm had returned. Thick snow and wind howled through the trees. Jack and Sari ran, slipping and stumbling, barely able to see. The hunters followed, slow but steady. No panic, no emotion. Just focused. Just the mission. Finally, Jack saw the old comms tower. Tall, rusted, abandoned. He kicked the door in. "Up? Go up!" They climbed 3 levels. Jack sealed the hatch behind them. Below, footsteps echoed. Jack aimed at the door. Sari sat in the corner, shaking. "I can't run anymore." Jack looked at her, heart racing. "Then we stand here." But Sari didn't respond. Her eyes rolled back. The silver in her veins began to shine bright. Too bright. Then, a pulse. A wave of light burst from her chest, passed through walls, through trees, into the sky. The hunters stopped. Their scanners went red. She activated it, one whispered. The lead hunter turned to the sky. Far above, a satellite blinked. Something ancient woke up. A signal had been sent. Inside the tower, Jack held her as she breathed heavy. "What did you do?" He whispered. Sari's voice was small. "I think I called something." "What kind of something?" She looked at him, eyes glowing faint silver now. "Something older than war." It remembered a dying star. Not as a machine, not as a watcher, but as something once alive. It remembered floating in deep black space, between burned planets and broken ships, listening to the silent screams of galaxies that had already ended. It remembered light. It remembered pain. Then, it was sealed, buried, hidden. Until someone touched it, until someone opened the wrong door. Until her. Sari woke with a sharp gasp, eyes wide, lungs begging for air. Jack was beside her, face pale, gun in hand. "You were out for hours," he said. "I couldn't wake you. I saw things," she whispered. "Things I shouldn't know." He helped her sit up. They were still inside the old comms tower. The storm outside was fading, but the world hadn't returned to normal, neither had Sari. "There's something inside me," she said. "But it's not a weapon. It's a key." Jack looked at her. "To what?" She touched her chest. "To knowledge, ancient, dangerous. It holds memories from before the Union, before species even met each other." Jack sat back. "And now you're carrying that?" She nodded. "It was hidden in our research ship, sealed in a crystal vault. They said it could map the soul of a planet." Jack raised an eyebrow. "Map the soul? It doesn't just store data," she said. "It absorbs history, emotion, thought. It remembers everything it touches." He stood and walked to the window. "That signal you released, it didn't just alert your hunters, did it?" "No," she said. "It woke something far bigger. Far above the planet, a deep space relay blinked to life, a satellite lost and forgotten for 2 centuries. Inside it, old protocols began to activate, a signal decoded, a name recognized. He found. The signal bounced across the stars to places no one had visited in generations. And something responded. Back in the tower, Jack paced. "So why are they trying to kill you?" he asked. "Why not just take the device?" "Because the key can't be removed," Sari said. "It bonded to me. If they try, it will destroy itself, and maybe me." Jack stared. "So they have to kill you, then cut it out." She nodded slowly. "I didn't choose this. I was just the last one left alive." Jack looked at her. "Well, you're not alone now." Suddenly, the tower lights flickered. Jack grabbed his blaster. A new sound echoed outside. Not wind. Engines. Big ones. He looked out the window. His jaw dropped. A massive black ship was descending from the clouds. Different from the hunter's crafts. Sleeker, older, almost silent. Sari stood beside him. "I know that ship," she whispered. "It's from the Vault Guardians. They were meant to protect keys like this." Jack narrowed his eyes. "So they're the good guys?" "I don't know anymore," she said. The ship hovered above the trees, then gently touched the ground. "The don't know anymore," she said. The ship hovered above the trees, then gently touched the ground. Hunters, still tracking in the forest, stopped, watched. One of them took a step forward. The ship's side opened. And from the light, a tall figure emerged, wrapped in robes, face hidden behind a golden mask. He raised one hand toward the hunter. The hunter exploded into ash. The others turned and ran. Jack saw it all from the tower window. "Well," he said, "that's terrifying." Sari's voice shook. "They don't speak. They don't ask. They just take back what was lost." Jack stepped back from the window. "And they're here for you. They had minutes, maybe less. What do we do?" "Sari asked." Jack looked at the bag of supplies, then at her. "We run. Again. We can't keep running forever." Jack looked straight at her. "Then we don't. We find answers. You said it's not a weapon, it's knowledge. Then someone out there must want to protect it, not just steal it." Sari's eyes narrowed. "You mean, go public?" Jack nodded. "We tell the story. Broadcast it. Once the truth's out, they can't hide it anymore. But if we do that," she said, "we'll have enemies everywhere." Jack gave her a tired smile. "We already do." They grabbed what they could, then ran out into the snow toward the frozen river where an old signal tower still worked. Behind them, the golden-masked figure watched. He did not chase. He only whispered to the ship. "The key has awakened. Begin protocol. Memory war." Asterisk. It had seen stars born and murdered. It had floated inside the mind of kings and cowards. That had been worshipped, feared, locked away, then forgotten. But now the key was awake again. Not in a vault, not in a warship. Inside a fragile body, inside her. The girl is scared, it thought, but fear sharpens. Fear remembers. And the fire is close. Sari stumbled through the frozen woods, snow stinging her face. Her heart pounded hard, but something deeper throbbed louder. A slow pulse beneath her ribs, the key, the voice. The ancient thing that was now part of her. Jack ran ahead, guiding her toward the old signal tower they hoped still worked. Behind them, silence. Not peaceful, predatory. They reached a broken fence. Just beyond it, the Cum's dish leaned sideways, half buried in snow. "This is it," Jack said, panting. "Will it work?" she asked. "It has to." He kicked open the door to the station. Dust fell from the ceiling. Cold light blinked weakly. He ran to the control panel, pulled out cables, started powering up the transmitter. Sari stood guard, eyes scanning the trees. No movement. Not yet. Then she felt it. Heat. Pressure. Like being watched by a mountain. She turned and saw them. The golden-robed guardians, silent, still, watching her from the edge of the woods. 4 of them now. They didn't raise weapons. They didn't speak. They simply walked forward, slow, heavy steps that made the snow melt beneath them. Inside, Jack slammed his fist on the panel. Come on. The screen flickered. Signal range, weak. He grabbed the microphone. "If anyone is out there, this is Jack Carter of Outpost 9. We are under pursuit. My companion is carrying an alien artifact. It's alive, it's aware, and it remembers everything. We're not enemies, we need help. Static, then, copy, coordinates. Received, repeat message." Jack's eyes lit up. "It's working." Outside, Sari stood in front of the station. The Guardians stopped 10 meters away. Then one raised a hand. Not in threat. In invitation. Her veins burned, her mind filled with images, galaxies imploding. Species erased, and the sound of a question. Will you return what is not yours? She staggered back. I didn't take it, she shouted. I didn't ask for this, but you carry it. Jack ran out. He saw the guardians and froze. Inside. He shouted. Sari didn't move. The light in her chest grew brighter. Not just silver now, gold, blue, red, a cosmic memory turning into fire. They want it back, she said. I say they can't have it. She turned to him, tears in her eyes. I can feel it waking. If I let it go, it might destroy me. If I keep it, I become something else. Jack stepped closer. You're still you, no matter what's inside. A moment of silence passed between them. Then one of the guardians stepped forward. Too fast. Jack raised his blaster and fired. The bolt hit the guardian's chest. It didn't flinch. Instead, it raised its hand, and with a single gesture, Jack was thrown into the tower wall. He collapsed, blood on the snow. Sari screamed. She ran to him, dropped to her knees. Jack! He coughed, eyes half open. Don't give up. The guardians closed in. And then the key spoke through her. Not words. Light. A shockwave burst from Sari's body, throwing snow, trees, and the guardians back. They hit the ground. Armor cracked. Sari rose, glowing, her feet no longer touching. The earth. Memory swirled in the air. Visions, voices, ancient languages. Star charts. The key had chosen, not as a tool, but as a voice, and it chose her. Jack watched, barely conscious. You're beautiful, he whispered. Sari looked at the guardians. No more silence, she said. No more running. I'm not just a carrier. I am the key now. The guardians stood. But this time, they didn't approach. They bowed. One spoke, a voice like distant thunder. So be it. And they vanished. Sari fell to the ground, the light fading. Jack crawled to her. You okay? He asked weakly. She nodded. I think I am now. Far above, 10,000 signals lit up across space. Leaders, empires, hidden watchers. They all heard the message. The key has chosen a voice, and the galaxy began too. The galaxy felt different, not louder, just more awake. Old satellites blinked for the first time in centuries. War councils paused their arguments. Pirates turned down music in the middle of deep space bars. Priests of 100 faiths raised their eyes to the stars, because something had changed. Not a planet destroyed. Not a fleet launched, but a single signal. A message not from a machine, but from a girl. And somehow they all knew. The key had found a voice. Sari sat at the edge of the cliff, her feet hanging over the frozen ridge. The cold wind moved through her hair, but she didn't shiver, not anymore. The fire inside her, the key, kept her warm now. Steady, quiet, not sleeping. Not burning. Just there. Jack walked up beside her, his arms still bandaged. Feeling like a god yet? He asked. She smiled. No, just someone with too many people listening. He sat beside her. Below them, the human outpost shimmered with sunrise. Beyond it, the trees, the river, and the stars. You're famous now, Jack said. Half the galaxy heard what you sent. Everyone's asking the same question. What question? What happens next? 2 ships had landed the day before. One was from the Galactic Peace Forum, ambassadors, scientists, people who bowed when they talked. The other was not. It belonged to a military faction known for burning first, asking later. They both wanted the same thing, a meeting with the girl who had become the key. Sari met them in the open clearing. No guards, no weapons. Just her. They asked her questions. Where did the key come from? Can it be copied? Is it dangerous? Her answers were simple. It remembers what we forget. It feels pain when we lie. It shows truth, even when we don't want it. One ambassador asked, and what will you do with it? She looked around, at the sky, at the trees, at Jack in the distance. Then she said, I want to open one door. Just one. Later that night, she sat with Jack again. What did you mean? He asked. What door? Sari looked at him, eyes glowing softly. My people hid the key because they were afraid of what it could show. Other races wanted to use it to win wars. Some to erase their history. Jack nodded. But you won't do that. No, she said. I let it speak. I'll let the galaxy see everything. The good, the ugly, the forgotten. Jack leaned back. Some people won't like that. They don't have to. They just need to know the door's open. The next morning, she stood at the center of the outpost. Cameras floated around her. Broadcasts beamed to thousands of systems. Ships in orbit waited, holding breath. Sari placed her hand on her chest, and the light inside her rose. Like mist projected across space. People saw visions. Some saw their ancestors. Some saw the crimes their governments denied. Some saw memories of kindness they had long forgotten. Children cried. Elders prayed. Soldiers put down their weapons. The truth had no sides, only memory. When it was done, Sari collapsed into Jack's arms. Is it over? He asked. She shook her head. It's begun. Weeks later, the galaxy didn't fall into war. Some tried. Some still wanted the key destroyed. But others, more than ever expected, began to open their own doors. Share their stories. Rebuild bridges. The hunters never came back. The guardians stayed silent. And the girl who once knocked on locked doors became a name spoken in 1,000 languages. Not as a weapon, but as a whisper of hope. Jack fixed up his old cabin. Sari planted strange alien flowers outside when strangers passed by in the snow. They saw smoke rising from the chimney. Some knocked, and the door always opened.